Hello, welcome back to another video. MAD on here. We are doing What If Deku Had a Bone Quirk Part 3. And um shout out to Marx Spade. Link description for his YouTube channel. He made my thumbnail and my new banner. So yeah, go check him out. And props to him so much. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. So yeah, last time we left off where Deku had just gotten off where Nomu had just hit him really hard in his arms that he blocked with, almost shattering his bones. Now let's get into it. Deku is right on the ground, and as he passes out, when his bones shatter in his arms, not all the way on. Luckily, by the time he wakes up, his bones have healed because of his quirk. He gets up, and around his body, he does what in this picture, as you can see, he does this in this picture, make like an armor of bone around his body, something like in this picture. But each bone is spiky, so if you touch the bone, you'll most likely get cut. He walks up to the Nomu, and Nomu punches one of Deku, try to punch Deku, but Deku's bone is so spiky that Nomu's doesn't go through it or nothing. The bone impales Nomu's fist, and then Deku uses his hand and uses a bone to stick it up his neck. No, up his chin. Like under your chin, he goes like that upwards. Deku thinks that might have finished the Nomu, so he digs even deeper with the bone, making the bone even more deadly. He pulls out and pulls away from the Nomu. He then shoots a bunch of spikes of bone at him. All Might then jumps in and says, "Kid, back up!" and he punches the Nomu. Nomu's already pretty much like very much injured through his brain. He was impaled through his brain because of the bone. My bad about that. But yeah, All Might steps in, but pretty much the Nomu is very, very much injured because he was impaled through the brain with a bone. But this Nomu keeps on going, but his only objective this time is to kill Deku, not even All Might. This causes Shigaraki to be enraged, and he jumps forward at All Might and tries to kill him. This causes All Might. Not All Might. Shigaraki is then shot a whole bunch of times. I forgot this dude's name. Dang. He's a character, we all know him in My Hero Academia if you watched him. He shot a bunch of times. Like, he shot Shigaraki a bunch of times. Deku jumps back and dodges the Nomu. He then makes a bat with a bunch of bones sticking out of it to make it even more deadly for the Nomu. He jumps up and tries to hit him in the brain, only hitting him in the shoulder because the Nomu had dodged a bit. Deku then makes like a humongous spike out of his hand full of it and tries to go straight for the brain again, but he misses fully and Nomu punches him in the side, shattering in his ribs. Izuku lands on his feet and his bones heal almost instantly. Izuku then puts his armor up again, where basically his whole body is covered in spikes of bones. So if anybody basically tries to hit him, they're most likely gonna get impaled. The Nomu punches Deku and is impaled, and Nomu tries to punch him again and is trapped basically now by Izuku Midoriya. Izuku then uses a giant spike to go straight through the heart of the Nomu, but the Nomu keeps on going. He pulls out and the Nomu punches Deku in his skull, causing Deku to fall to the ground. Deku doesn't get up at all. Luckily, his skull is shattered, but then healed right away, so he's fine. Luckily, also, his brain was not damaged. So if his brain was damaged, he probably wouldn't be able to be a hero. But luckily, he had more protection for his skull using his bone quirk. He's knocked out, and then the Nomu jumps forward. This causes All Might to jump straight at the Nomu and punches it in its face. Deku gets right back up and he shoots a bone straight through the brain of the Nomu. The Nomu passes out, and Deku goes forward and uses a bunch of bones and slashes at the brain so it doesn't get back up. Some of the kids watch this in fear. Some of the kids watch this in success. Some of the kids watch this as if Deku is dangerous. Some of the kids are afraid of Deku. Some of the kids are proud of Deku. One of the kids that is proud of Deku is Bakugo and Todoroki, because Deku would have done, Bakugo would have done the same thing if he could. Like kids like Mineta and Momo are a little bit afraid, and Mina too. Not Sue though. Sue's not afraid. So this is, and the teachers see the fierceness in Deku's eyes and stop Deku. Aizawa stops Deku and his bones come right back in him. Some of the bones fall out. Aizawa says, "That's enough, Izuku." Uses his wrap and wraps Deku around and captures him. He's not looking at Deku, and Deku tears himself out with bone. He says, "I'm fine. Thanks." He walks away and passes out. He wakes up the next day in the nurse's office, and she says, "See? I knew I'd see you here." Deku says, "Oh, what happened?" He said, and then the nurse says, "Well, you used your quirk up too much," says the lady. He says, "I used my quirk too much?" Probably because I did pass out and my skull was shattered, which is probably the weakest bones in my body. It healed pretty quickly. She says, "Your skull was shattered? Let me take a look." She said, "It's totally fine. Don't like that again, kid." She said, Deku says, My bones heal almost instantly, so of course it's okay. It's just they're the weakest bones in my body and most fragile. Those bones are more likely like only 5 times stronger than a human's bones. So yeah. Deku gets up and walks out. The nurse said, "Wait! Here, eat this." She passes him some gummies and she says, "Oh, thank you." And he eats them and walks back into class. She said, "Well, class hasn't started yet, so you can sit here a bit. I want to talk to you." No, Deku says, "No, I'm fine. I'd rather go around campus." The nurse heart is just like broke. Not like that. Not like she liked him. It's nothing like that. No, she's just surprised that he just said that. And that he leaves. He walks around the school, seeing the school a bit, but notices he only has about 5 minutes left until class. He sees All Might, and right before he's going on his way to class, All Might stops him and says, "Hey kid, what you did yesterday was great." Deku says, "It's been a day?" He said, "Yeah. Luckily the school day was pretty much over, so basically you're back as if it was a new day. Regular day." Oh, Deku sighs in relief. He says, "Whew, thank you. I was really hoping it wasn't that bad." Deku goes back to school and says to Aizawa, "Sorry I'm late. I was pulled back by All Might." Aizawa says, "It's alright, kid. After all, your skull was shattered. And your ribs. And your back. And your arms. But it doesn't matter. I expected you to be in the nurse's office for a week, but it's only been like half a day. Well, only been for a night. Wow, kid, you're a tough one." Deku smiles. He says, "Of course." Walking by, some of the students are intimidated, but are like amazed at Deku's strength. Momo is kind of like a little afraid of Deku, so she tries not to look at him in the eye. Ochako says hi Deku and asks if she's okay. She says, "I got you something," and it's a basket of goodies and chocolates and stuff. Deku says, "I don't need your charity. I'm fine. It was just a little bit of broken bones." Ochako says, "A little? Your skull was shattered. Your back, your ribs, and your..." Deku stops her and says, "I've heard it already. Felt like 3 times now." Ochako says, "Oh, okay, sorry." He says, "No problem. Thanks for your concern. And you know what? I'll take the goodie basket." Deku takes the goodie basket and sits down. Aizawa says, "Well, now we have sports festival. Sports festival is to determine the strength of each student in the first class 1. In the year in the first years. Well, this one is to determine the strength of the first years between class 1A and class 1B, and class 1D and C and those. But 1B and 1A are the main attraction because those are hero teams, hero support. Hero trainees. The other classes aren't. They have quirks, of course, but Yeah, classes. The classes aren't there for being a hero or like stuff like that. They're there to learn. But even if you are in one of those classes, you can still make it up to one of these. Deku's like, okay, I understand. Why though? Aizawa says, let me get there. Stop speaking. Aizawa then says, but depending on how you do in the sports festival, it will determine on where you will go for the student and so the hero internships. Hero internship is where students go and train with a hero and fight and not fight alongside, because you guys are first years, and that doesn't really happen unless you do pass the test in order to get in, like to hero. I forgot what it's called. It's not called hero internship. It's like hero studies. No, this is hero studies, and the other one is hero internship. Yeah, this is hero studies. My bad about that. So yeah, he said to hero studies. You can pass, if you pass the exam for hero internship, you can actually fight alongside heroes in actual serious things. Hero studies though is really just studying, and those heroes will help you out on things they think you need to learn. So yeah, pick wisely, because you will most likely have multiple choices. And if not, you can just, if you don't have a lot, you go to the one that they choose you. If you're not chosen, you can stay here and train. It's about time for, what's it called? The sports festival. About that. But yeah, Deku walks home and walks in the door to his mom. Inko is sitting at the chair and sitting in the kitchen eating some food. Deku said, wait, where's my food? She says, you don't eat. After what you did that day at the field trip, I heard your bones shattered in your back, your hip, your arms, and even your head. What a dangerous thing to do. Inko is mad, and Deku just walks into his room with no care whatsoever. Inko follows him and slaps him in his face. He says, how could you do such a thing? You had me worried sick. And she cries a bit. Deku says, don't worry, Mom. My bones are basically indestructible. There's no point. I have infinite supply of bones, he says. Ingo says, if only your father was here to take care of you. Deku asks, who is my father? Ingo says, oh. He says, no more of this. I'll make your food and you eat and go to bed. And Deku then tells her mom, Deku then says, okay, but I just wanted to let you know, the sports festival is tomorrow. Inko says, what? Oh yeah, huh? Well, I'll make sure to watch. I don't think I'm gonna get tickets. That's a little too much. I'll just watch on TV. And if you do anything stupid, I'll kill you when you get home. Deku smiles and eats and goes to sleep. It's time for the sports festival. He arrives at school early. He says hi to Ochako and asks Ochako if she's ready. She says, I'm ready for sure. And there's no way that I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna win. Bakugo looks at Izuku and Izuku says, hey Katsuki, you excited for the festival? He says, shut up, Deku. Izuku says, dang, okay. Izuku says, what's up to Todoroki and Shoto. Shoto is actually pretty cool with Izuku. He thinks he's a pretty cool guy and a person of challenge, and thinks somebody that may be stronger than him or maybe just as strong. Todoroki says, oh, what's up, what's up, Deku? What's up, Midoriya? Izuku says, you can call me Deku. Okay, Midoriya. Izuku sighs. Deku sighs. Whatever. He's not gonna call me Deku. What's it called? Todoroki Deku says, well, what do you think of the sports festival? Todoroki says, I think I'll do pretty good, and I'll earn my dad's respect. Deku says, huh? Oh, he says, and then Shoto says, don't mind it. He says, okay, see you later. See you later, Midoriya, says Shoto. Midoriya. That's literally all he says is Midoriya, 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 Midoriya in the show. Like, bro, come on. Like, bro, you're good. Bro, speak something else. Like, and he never says anybody's first name. It's Uraka, Ida, Bakugo, Midoriya. It's always like, he doesn't say nobody's first name. Might. No, I was kidding. Imagine he said all might, like, might. That would be funny. That would actually be funny. So, yeah. Deku then gets into, works the. Deku then gets ready for the sports festival, so it is time to get dressed. They get dressed into their PE clothes, because that's what they have to wear. They get in the arena, and the first arena says, "It is a race." Well, the first arena is announced by Midnight, the hero. She says, "The first part of the exam is." It's like a machine that's like random. It is a race. First one to go through this race is to has to pass these robots, pass this ice, pass this minefield, and make it all the way back. First place wins. First place wins first place, and you'll know what happens next. She says, "Get on your mark, get ready." Everybody gets ready. On your mark, get set, go. Deku, with all the speed he can muster, runs as fast as he can. He's already in the front of multiple people besides Tenya Ida. A giant a 1-pointer and 2-pointer show up, and Deku instantly just destroys them with a big giant bunches of bones. He runs straight through them like they were nothing. He then puts on his cloak of bone armor as he sees a 0-pointer coming through. Deku then makes like a giant spike made of bone to go straight through the head of the robot where all the machinery, main parts were. Ending up for its head to blow up and to fall down. Luckily, Todoroki is there to stop it from falling down. Deku also uses some of his bone to keep it from falling on anybody else, keeping some people safe. Deku still keeps running as he makes it to the minefield super duper fast. He makes like a shovel of bone to pick up the bombs as he knows what he's gonna do. Most of the kids are moving slow or fast. He knows that even if he moves as fast as he can, he'll probably get hit by a mine. He then digs it up, and just as he does in the original, makes a pad of instead of grabbing the robot, he gets a pad of bone and does the same exact thing. Deku then remembers, oh crap. Bone and fire don't mix, as his bone pad or whatever thing is on fire. He knows that it's going to end up blowing up, so he jumps off and makes a slide of it, and luckily he makes it to the end of it. He runs as fast as he can and gets first place. Bakugo in second and Todoroki in third, and other people so and so. As the people congratulate Deku for how good he did, and they in the crowd they cheer. Deku doesn't really do nothing but make like a statue. Well, not a statue. He doesn't really do nothing but make a quick scenery made of bone. He then sits down and he then stands there and waits for the next instruction and wait for everybody else. As everybody gets settled, Midnight then advises the next game. The next game will be a team. You need a team of at least 3, 4 at most. These teams will be going against each other, and you must rack up the points on everybody's headbands. Your points will be on your head based off your place in the next game. Deku, Izuku Midoriya has the most points, as he did get first place, giving him 1,000,000 points. He is currently in first place, as the runner-up has nowhere near as much. They have 300. The first 4 places, or 6, I think. I think it's 4. If you make it in the top 4 participants' place, you get to participate in the game. In the final round of the UA Heroes. In the final round of the sports festival, UA Sports Festival. She says, a lot of kids try to avoid Deku, but people such as Ochako, Tokoyami, and not Ida avoids. And who else was it? I know there was Tokoyami, Izuku, Ochako, and Mei Hatsume, who uses machinery. Deku thinks his team is pretty good so far. Deku says he'll be on top as he is the one with the headband. Deku then uses a bone to insert uses like a shield of bone to keep this headband secure so nobody can basically grab it. The only way you can grab it is by setting it on fire, having it blow up, and then grabbing the thing. Because Deku would take it off his body and throw the bone away, of course, if that had happened. But still, it's in a secure spot on Deku's head. I mean, it's like on his on his chest, so there's no way into getting it. So yeah, so there's this huge lump on his chest where the what's it called is, where the headband is, so you cannot get it whatsoever unless you know how to get through some bone. Everybody has gathered up the team, and the game starts. Unfortunately, this is one of my least favorite games in the show, so I would like to skip it, because what's really the main attraction of the Sports Festival is the final round. And before we get into that, this is where I'm going to end off the video. Please hit the subscribe and hit the notification bell so you update on my daily uploads. And yes, go down in my link in the description below and go subscribe to Marx Spade. Please do that. He made my thumbnail and my banner. He's really good and cool. So please subscribe to him. And yeah, peace.